we got some news on Kawhi Leonard's injury that he suffered in Game 4 between the Clippers and Utah Jazz. Sources believe that it is an ACL sprain and most likely will miss the remainder of the series, Mario. Which is unfortunate news, unfortunately. But in Game 5 last night, they seem to be doing really good without him. They won Game 5, and they're one win away from their first ever conference finals appearance in franchise history, which I never knew about that. I thought at one point or another they were there, but I guess not. But Paul George went off last night. He really stepped up, Mario, and they're gonna really need him to, given that he'll most likely not be back in the series. But you never know; he could pop out. And Coach Tyronn Lue says the Clippers are optimistic about Kawhi Leonard's injury, that they'll know more within the next 48 hours. So I'll let you start off first, Mario. But before I do, this article was written by Farbad and Sanashari from Sports Illustrated. So I'll let you go. I'll let you go first, Mario. What do you think about Kawhi Leonard's injury as of right now?
Well, first of all, before I say anything, I just want to wish Kawhi Leonard the best of luck. Hopefully it is just an ACL sprain, and hopefully it's not too serious to the point where he can continue during the playoffs if they do get past the Utah Jazz. Yeah, and Kawhi Leonard, he had an MRI done on him, but it was inconclusive. So again, they need more time for a clear result. And again, right now, Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers are hopeful that it's just an ACL sprain. Look, Nate, I talked about the whole situation with Chris Paul and how again they're lucky that they were in the position that they are because they have time to figure everything out and get everything situated. This is a completely different situation. You see, they don't have a lot of time. Like if anything, if this goes to game 7, it gives more time for Kawhi to recover. It's as simple as that. I don't want now. Again, the Clippers obviously they're not going to say, "Oh, let's lose this game so we can give Kawhi Leonard more time." They're probably going to want to win as quick as possible. That's probably what they're going to do. But the thing is, the sooner that the series ends, is the sooner that the next series will begin. Now, I hope that Kawhi Leonard is, okay. I hope it's just an ACL sprain. I hope it's not too serious to the point where he can't play. See, he thought he was he said it during like the when the reporter asked him how his knee was feeling. He said he felt good. He said it's all good. He said where was it right here? He said he was all good, and he told his teammates he was all good as well. So, and again, I don't think they said his statement to the media wasn't a front. He actually believed that he was all good. But again, with these injuries, it just proves to you never know. You could feel good one day, and then the next day you don't feel too great, or you might not even feel like the injury in your knee or whatever, and then you go through further you take MRIs and you take X-rays, and then you finally figure out like, hey, this injury is actually more serious than I thought. It doesn't mean the injury doesn't hurt, doesn't mean it's not serious. Sometimes it takes time for it to actually sink in, especially with adrenaline. When you have all this adrenaline in your body, sometimes adrenaline, the feeling of it, like with an injury, sometimes you can't feel it because of all the adrenaline built up in you. So there's that too. But I will say this: I hope that he is going to be ready if they do get past the Utah Jazz, because the Clippers did really good without him, but that's because Paul George had a great game. So. But with Kawhi Leonard there, it helps the Clippers even more. And like you said, this will be the first time that they go to the Western Conference Finals in franchise history if they get past the Utah Jazz. And I knew about that because they talked about it last year when they ended up facing the Denver Nuggets and they were up 3-1. But again, we all know what happened there. So they talked about that whole stat right there. So or that fun fact. But look, I hope that he can play because this is probably the best year for the Clippers to actually make the finals. There's no LeBron James. There's you look at the actual West itself. They got to get past the Utah Jazz and then the Phoenix Suns, and that's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, but I think this is the best year for the Clippers to make the finals. And I said it again. The Clippers will make the finals, but if Kawhi Leonard doesn't play, then I don't think I'm too optimistic about it, if you understand what I'm saying. So Kawhi Leonard needs to play because he was the main reason why I said they're going to make the finals is because, again, I just can't count this man out. But again, this is definitely a very, very serious injury that he's going to have to treat well. Again, I hope that it's just an ACL sprain. I hope it's not like any part. I hope there's no tear or there's not or it's not nothing too serious, But regardless, an ACL sprain is serious. He is going to miss the rest of the series versus the Jazz. So the Clippers are going to have to do what they need to do to get past the Utah Jazz and advance to the Western Conference Finals, regardless whether they have Kawhi Leonard or not. I bet Ty Lue's explained that too. Whether Kawhi Leonard is healthy or not, we still got to get to the next round, and that's exactly what they have to do. So with that being said, regardless though, I wish Kawhi Leonard the best of luck. Again, I hope this injury is not too serious. I hope it's just an ACL sprain, and I hope that he will be ready to play if they do make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I hope it's not that serious either. Best of luck to Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, it's next man up, Mario. That's what we always say, and they're gonna have to survive the rest of the series. That's what's gonna have to happen. But there is that little bit of hope that he could come back in this series, depending on if they win Game 6 or it goes to Game 7. But who knows? You never know.
Yeah, most likely though, I can't see it happening.
Yeah, I can't see it happening either. I think they're gonna let him sit out and rest, even if they lose the series. I think that's what they need to do. And in my opinion, that's what I would do. You know what I mean? If I'm not so sure, like you said, that unlike the Phoenix Suns, the Clippers don't have that much time. So whether I'm unsure of how serious the injury is or not, I'm still gonna have to sit. You know what I mean? Because again, I don't know how serious it is. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not gonna take the chance of letting him go out there and play, and then something happens, and there you go. You just got yourself in a whole nother debacle. But yeah, that's really the best I have to say. Only thing I can say is next man up. You gotta survive. There's a lot of pressure going on Paul George, and he seemed to be doing just fine yesterday. He had 37 points, 16 rebounds. He was doing a really good job, Mario. So
Right.
Game 6, he's gonna have to do the same thing. That's just what's gonna have to happen, and everybody else around him is gonna have to step up as well.
Right, but the question is, can he do that on a consistent
He do
basis
it
without
again,
Kawhi
right?
Leonard?
Yeah.
And that's going to be very tough to tell because those stats are hard to get in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's the only question I have for Paul George is, can he do it again? And I'm sure he can. It's Paul George.
Yeah.
We expect great things out of him. So I'm not really too worried about Paul George. It's just, again, without Kawhi there, it just makes it a little bit tougher. So with that being said, best of luck to Kawhi Leonard. Game set. It's going to be Friday at 10 p.m. So it's going to be in LA as well. So they have that going for them. It's going to be in LA. So that's a good sign. So with that being said, best of luck to the Clippers. Best of luck to Kawhi Leonard, and we'll see what happens Game 6.